Welcome back to Open Soon, and today we have the M&C colour. This is an older version which I don't think anyone's seen before, so thanks to Ferrol for sourcing this one for me. It's an interesting lock. It's a pin tumbler or dimple on one side, and it has some sliders as well, so it works very nicely. And to tension this, I'm just going to use this simple one just to give it some tension there, and we'll work on those dimples first. Clicking in quite nicely. It's a nice satisfying clunk. I mean, this is not, I think this is a purple or blue lock or something. It's not a super high security, but it's a good challenge nonetheless. Basically what we're looking for is to get the pins done, which then will set the lock into quite a sort of a medium false set, deep enough to be obvious. And from there, work on the sliders. Which can be tricky to work on just because they are really set they're set very close to that side of the barrel, and also they're sort of right on top of the actual pins of the dimples, so they're sort of right in the way. You kind of can't do them both at the same time. It's one of the things that makes this lock a little bit challenging. Feels a little bit like a serrated drivers or something like that in terms of feel. But I might try and have a look once we've got it picked. There's that false set. Now we just need to manipulate those sliders. And we're open. So that's obviously worked quite nicely. Around, look again. Let's see what we can do in terms of having a look at the interior part of this lock. So pins and sliders here, so this is going to be a little bit of an interesting lock for sure. Take out that clip. Then we're going to need, I suspect, something to follow. That's probably the right size. Lost a driver pin in that process, and I don't actually know which one that was from, so we'll just put that right there for the time being. First of all, we have sidebar there, which I'm anticipating probably has some pretty nasty little pins that are going to fly out at me. There are some tiny little springs in there which don't seem to want to pop out, so we might just leave them there for the time being, and we'll see if we can get these using these here now, so I'm thinking the sliders are actually held in place by the, I think it says I've got 6 there, looks like it's number 5. That's number 6. Here's number 4. Wow, this is good fun. Fun and games here. Number 3. Take him over. 2. Number 1. So those are the key pins. Seeing if there's anything else other than those very, very, very delicate little springs on the sidebar, which I need to use something very delicate to get those out. Be happy to leave them in, but the problem is then they might still fall out and I'd lose them. And they are tiny, tiny things. So to get those sliders out, we probably have to take the key out. They'll probably come out. Number 1, 2, number 3. Looks like an anti-drill bar there, and then everything on that makes sense. Now let's have a look at the drivers. which we think we've lost one already. We will work out which one that is. Driver 1, we have sort of a barrel type arrangement. Springs are not wanting to shoot forth, which is fine by me, but I'm just trying to have a look at what's going on in there, why I'm not seeing a spring. I'm not seeing a spring in chamber 1 because I think in fact is a wedged, it's almost like a master wafer. Nothing happening there. Interesting, we'll come back to that. The spring in chamber 2 is staying put. That's okay, let's leave it put. Let's do this without the springs. Here's number 3. I think that therefore it must be number 2. The spring has come out in 3. Let's go back to number 1. It's not, I think that's just the drilling, so so that's actually 2. Wow, professional bloody gutting here, Mike. So we've left the spring in 1, we've got the spring from 2. What do we have in 3? Here it comes. There's the spring. There's 4. Standard driver, so we've got standard, standard, standard. We've got a sort of double gin or something. Nothing coming out of 5 at all. Suggests that that's that one. And there's 6. And it's spring right there. So apart from a couple of springs, there's everything inside the M&C colour. It's really going to help to see it from that angle. But essentially what we have is a nicely milled pin in 1, which is a bit tricky. Then standards, something interesting in 5, and then another standard. If we take a look at these sidebar pins, they have a simple gate, no serration in 3 or anything like that, no other false gates in 2, and nothing in 1 either. So while that slider mechanism and sidebar provides an additional degree of difficulty, as you saw when I was picking it, it really was the pins that provided the challenge. This was, well, basically a trivial challenge on the sidebar. Anyway, that's the M&C colour. Thank you for watching.